Welcome, friends, to another edition of Lighting the Candle, A World That Works. It's such a pleasure to have all of you here this afternoon. As you know, we've been conducting these conversations in sort of a random form and covering the beach with a lot of different subjects. The primary idea of this is empowerment through conversation and inviting people to join us in saying good things about the world, about themselves, and about other people. And in doing so, creating this possibility in language of a world that actually works, an experience of a world that actually works. Does that sound like a pretty good summary of what we've been up to for the last 6 months or so?
Yes.
Yep. Awesome. So with that said, the opening question today as we introduce ourselves, and we're going to go around in just a moment. If you were in a situation where you felt threatened and at the same time weren't sure if you should be threatened, what would you use as a way to find out if you actually were in danger or if it was just a construct that was in your own mind? So with that said, in other words, if you're in danger and you feel that you're in danger, how can you test that and not just live into it like it's the truth? So we'll start with Vanessa this morning, and welcome, Vanessa.
Yeah, hi. Well, I'm glad you started with me, Bill, because I'm not sure I understood that question entirely. So when you say, what do you use to test if you are in danger, what sort of danger are we thinking of, too?
That was my question, too.
It's open-ended. You can name it. You can say different kinds of danger that you could experience. Where does the conversation want to go?
That's a good one.
Is that helpful, Vanessa?
Okay, so maybe it includes how we might define danger.
Yeah, and in your experience of danger, do you normally sit and look at it and go, is this danger? Or do you just feel something viscerally?
Well, so right there, that's a good question, because I think that brings up the topic of how much are we aware of what's going on in our environment and what we're feeling, how we're responding to it versus just reacting to it. So right there, you're bringing up the question of, how are we noticing things? At least that's how I'm interpreting it. So maybe I'll just start there. So Vanessa S. Lewis, and I began my career as a songwriter, and then I moved into freelance writing and even some marketing copywriting. And I'm a very curious person. I love to hear other people's stories. And I believe that every single person on this earth has a story. If we're here, we have a story that's worth sharing. And I love that we all come together each week to hopefully to have wonderful conversations and hopefully uncover a bit of truth along the way. So going along with your question, Bill, I'll just interpret it the way I did and then just answer from there. So what would define a danger? Well, one thing is, I have a belief that that this world is so much more than what we see, and it's even more than what we experience. You've all heard the expression that we're human beings having a spiritual experience. And so I think that I do believe in good and evil, and I think that there's a subtle kind of an evil that could be attacking us at any given moment, possibly all the time, depending on what our purpose is in life and how close we are to pursuing that purpose. And so if I perceive something as, first of all, I need to be aware that I could be being attacked in some way. And if I view that attack as danger, then what would I do when I realize that I am in danger to get myself out of danger. So before I go further, Bill, is that kind of where you were thinking along the lines when you posed this question?
Actually, in the years that you've known me, I'm more interested in the answer you're going to give than the one that I would anticipate. So it was perfect.
Oh, I see how it looks. Okay.
Almost like cheating.
Here's the question, and it could be you're amazing, Bill. I love you. It could be as easy as how was your day, right?
That could be a
Or
5-minute conversation.
are you? How are you? Are you really fine, right? And then, I mean, I'm saying this with utmost, utmost respect and compliment to you as a person and as a person who loves to listen. And you said it before, listen between what people are saying, listen to the breaths they take in between and the words they choose to use. So, so I know there's other people that want to talk, so I'll try to finish up here as quick as I can. So I think that the way that I would test this danger is, first of all, does it feel like it's something that's coming from good? Let's say God, right? Or does it feel, so maybe it would be something that's productive, something that would be helping me on my purpose, whatever that might be? Or is it something that put in the way of me achieving my purpose? And that could also be God, because then that could be a test. It could be like Joseph Campbell's The Hero with 1,000 Faces, where he talks about the guardian of the threshold, which is like anytime anyone tries to go on their path and they seem like they're finally on their path, there's these resistances that come up in the way. So I would just, and I have certain tools, I have spiritual tools that I would use to protect myself in the moment of danger. And there's a great theologist, I don't remember who said it, but basically, if someone believes in praying and prayer would protect them, then prayer should never be the last resort. It should be the first choice that we come to. So in that case, prayer, for example, is one of my tools. I identify as a Christian, so I would do a lot of praying to God, and I would pray that there be protection for whatever resistances I come across during my day, whatever evils I might have thrown at me, especially when it's something that might get in the way of me achieving my purpose in this life, or even staying obedient to what God is asking of me. So I think I'll leave it there. That's pretty much where I want to leave my answer. I'm definitely curious about what everyone else will say. So thank you.
Thank you. That was really fun. So next up, again, we're identifying who we are in the world and kind of what we're up to. And the question is, if you're in a situation and you think you're in danger, how could you test whether or not you actually are? Tina, we're going to have you go next. I often refer to you as Lisa, but I'm trying to give up that habit.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Tina Kadish from Danbury, and I'm a career change agent. And so I support individuals looking for a new career. So danger. So when I first heard your question, I'm thinking of physical danger. I'm thinking that I could be threatened. Let's say I'm in my home and someone wants to break in. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the first thing came to mind was physical. I will defend myself to whatever I need to do to protect myself and my family. So I'm thinking of physical. I don't own a weapon. So if somebody broke in, I'd have to find some other ways to defend myself. But I'm thinking of physical danger. Now, Power of prayer, yes. When you're in danger, whether it's an illness, like my daughter had an illness, and that to me was danger, because the danger of death to me. And so praying, praying to God, using scriptures to me would give me some peace with that. So I'm thinking of physical danger. When I'm feeling threatened, I will defend myself. But there's also bullying. Maybe maybe like I see online now these days, and I've had to unfriend people on Facebook because with everything going on with the political arena, there's people that are so hateful, and they just come on. Like the other day, I was called a moron.
Oh boy.
And the only thing I said was, and listen to this, I just said, I will not live my life with fear. That's all I said. That's all I said. And these individuals went off and off about that statement. I said, wow. I unfriended them. I blocked them. I said, you're done. And I can't even have a personal belief, because this was what he said, that was a belief and it's personal. I base myself on facts. Well, go somewhere with those facts, buddy. Okay. So, and that's just an example. Now, did I feel in danger? No, I wasn't in danger, but it could lead to danger if it led to more conversation where they would be trying to find me where I lived. You never know. So I never post anything political online. Okay. I see people going on and on about comments, and I just kind of read them and I'm like laughing. But all I said was, I'm not going to live my life with fear. And that was the comment about masks. I wear a mask, but I'm not going to live my life with fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I will still go out. I will still interact with people. I'm not going to stay home paranoid that the danger of the pandemic, the COVID, everybody is like, and this is my personal, again, belief. If it's your time to go, it's time to go. However, I do take precautions. I do wear a mask for respecting myself, respecting others. When I'm going, a social distancing, I respect it. And that's what we need to do now. And that's what I'm going to conform and follow that. But my personal belief is that I don't, and I've read the research, masks do not 100% solve the virus. But that's my own personal, but I'm going to wear them. Okay, so those are a couple of different things that I've experienced. So this week I've been called a moron. Go take a nap. You're a moron.
Was it only that the worst name you ever?
So I just said, wow. And I didn't. What?
I said, if only that were the worst.
What'd you say?
You were ever called. If only that
right.
was the worst name you were ever called. Yes.
Right. So I said, wow, goodbye. I'm done with, I basically said, I'm done with this conversation.
So I'm kind of curious. I'm not sure, but it sounds like the post I had on my page was talking about not going to live in fear of COVID. And then it went off on everybody talking about what a moronic, stupid thing for you to say, that you're the one that's killing all these people by not wearing a mask and all these other really cool things they bring to the party.
Right. But I never said that I don't wear a mask.
Right.
No
I didn't say that. I mean, I wear a mask, and I even said that in my statement. And the individual perceived it that I insinuated that he is living with fear.
So I'm going to ask you to hold that thought.
Okay.
In that place. Vanessa is sitting in her place.
Yep.
Now we're going to put Mr. Caputo in his place. Ken,
going to put me in my place, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Let everyone know who you are. We're addressing a very short question. If you sense that you're in danger, what sort of a test could you use to either confirm or deny?
All right. Well, I'm Ken Caputo. Let's see. What will I do today? I am the founder of Quester's Way, which is a place where families can come in, learn, and grow and celebrate together. We'll leave it at that. So it's interesting because when you say sense danger, there's a difference between sensing danger and an imminent threat. And, and it's interesting, like we're doing some work on children taking tests, and the fact that they sense danger. They may fail it. They may get answers wrong. So it fires up the amygdala, and which actually reduces the brain's ability to retrieve details because you go into fight or flight mode. Mm-hmm. So first thing that I do if I sense danger is I breathe and I calm my sympathetic nervous system so that I can kind of get my head and my heart aligned and assess the information. Now if it's an imminent threat, either you've done the work in advance, you've prepared, and like someone breaking into your home, either you've set yourself up to be able to call 911 and the system takes care of you, or you have tools in place to be able to properly defend yourself, or you've secured your house so that they can't get in, or you have an alarm, So, but once the threat is there, it's there. Now it's just a matter of how successfully you manage to navigate it, and it's going to be what it is. So, but I think, statistically, it's something like 95% of what we perceive as a danger actually isn't. It's just our nervous system reacting to something that's unknown. So the best thing you can do is put yourself in a state of awareness where you can know more and then make better intentioned decisions. So that's what I got for you.
Well done. With all of that said, you are still the founder of Questor's Way. That is something persisting through time very nicely.
Cool.
Exactly, my friend. And, next up at bat will be our dear friend Shelley. And Shelley, tell us who you are. And again, if you're in a situation where you're sensing danger, do you confirm or deny that it's so?
Wow. So first, Shelley Kohler, who is really a coach in this world for all people on all levels. I am a business consultant with the state, so I work with small businesses in all different facets to help ensure their success. That's what I do. I'm a very big sports advocate, coach for fast pitch softball. So, wow. I mean, it has gone from, the emotional to the physical and bringing that together. So my first response was kind of like, okay, if I'm in a threatening situation, it's fight or flight, right? That's the first thing that comes into my mind. And then really listening to everybody, there are so many different avenues, and I can see why someone would just have to go with the perception that's there, right? Do we have time to actually take that deep breath and get everything in alignment? Sometimes not. But if we are not in imminent danger, the awareness, we need to be aware of that. And what is our threshold? I'm not certain that many people know that. They just go into a fight or flight, or they have a perception of what is being said that is threatening, instead of really assessing and becoming aware. So, I like how the two worlds have collided. Just some notes, and what I have resonated with, what has already been said, and then I'll kind of recap it with my own, is, how do you test that? And where is it coming from? But we as humans also have the tools. Like, I'll take a self-defense class. Some have, tools at their bedside. My phone, I keep it there. I live alone because that's my only defense, right? Other than the bat in my corner, which I have to get up and go get. But so, there's different ways we all kind of set ourselves up. But if we don't know enough to be aware or take that deep breath to just center ourselves and kind of get a grip on what is going on, it can get out of hand very quickly with just the perception that's going on. Something that not Lisa, Vanessa said. And I think there's good in everybody, but there's also that devil on the other shoulder, right? And part of the awareness is which one are we listening to? So in some response, we have to condition ourselves to be able to be aware to make sure that we know the difference between the two. And in that particular person, what's coming out of them? Is the intent good, but you feel like it's coming across as not as is either threatening or bullying or something of that nature. So, when we're dealing with human emotions, it's always so hard to kind of really get a complete understanding without actually just asking a question. It could be as easy as, when you've not in imminent danger, but in a scenario where that heated discussion comes up, it could be to seek the understanding. And the question can easily be diffused. If in fact, and Tina, I agree with you, as you get older, as I do, I don't necessarily have the energy nor the wherewithal to try to change everybody, right? So sometimes you just have to stand with what you believe in. And if someone wants to, kind of throw tomatoes at you, fine, that's fine. I'm going to stand here anyway. But and then Tina brought up something that I had not even thought of, was really the danger of death, or the danger that, really comes to us and is more emotional, but we have no idea like how to control that. But then we go to Ken, who said afterwards, you take that deep breath and it really realigns us and our we called it our sympathetic nervous system, and puts us back in alignment. So there's all these things that are coming together that I'm finding very fascinating, because my first thought, as Tina, was fight or flight. Okay, how do I assess that? I first am aware. I have to seek and make sure that it's not imminent danger. If it is, and I can get out, I get out. And, it's kind of very black and white, right? Fight or flight, and all these other things that are going on that I think people need to be aware of. And really, perception and awareness can make all the difference in the world. I've watched many videos of, police being videotaped when they pull over an African-American teenager. And, they literally drive to their house, and then mom comes out and there's all this chaos, when it really, he blew through a stop sign. That's why I'm pulling him over. Did I know he was African-American? No, he blew through a stop sign. And so there's just so much going on, right? That we immediately go to the defense and the perception that there's a reason behind the threatening, or our feeling of being threatened. So, mine is always to seek to understand and ask questions if you can diffuse or actually just reroute the energy. I do that on a daily basis with businesses, because that's just what I do. So, I think bringing the emotional piece into it, and then the physical, and finding a place where you can actually just make a really, I don't want to say good choice, but, one that's good for you without having all these other backlashes come at you. That's kind of where I sit.
It's fun watching all of you chase the answer around in your heads.
There is no answer.
Okay.
But
it's all right. I think what you're expressing is something that needed to be expressed for a while. And thank you very much for that, Shelley. Since we're getting close to a half hour, we'll come back. We're really going to dive into this in the second part of today's broadcast, right? So, Lisa, who are you in the world? What do you do? And the sense that you might be in danger, how do you test that hypothesis? How do you find out if it's really so?
Lisa Sheehan. I am a media corporate person by day and co-publisher of Epic Magazine by night and every other free minute. The first thing that came to mind was I had the experience of, I live alone as well, so if there's a person at the end of my bed when I wake up in the middle of the night, that can't be good. And I was away and forgot I was away and woke up in the middle of the night to someone at the what I thought was the foot of my bed. And all I did was look up and said, "What are you doing?" So that's my response to danger, apparently.
Get more information, huh?
So apparently I'll try to reason with somebody. I don't know.
That's amazing.
But the other thing that came to mind was it was my sister, by the way. She goes, "I'm going to the bathroom."
Who are you and what are you doing in my house, right?
Yeah, exactly. Get out. Done. But my other first thought is because I've been deep diving into spiritual allyship and radical or revolutionary love and all these different courses. So I've realized I've lived a pretty charmed life. I haven't been in any kind of danger that often, and most of it I realize now is probably more perceived. So the way I'm looking at it from my point of view now is to look at things differently, because it's probably just my own stereotyping kind of fear that's putting me in the state of perceived danger. So I'm really looking at that. But I do agree with now living a more spiritual life and following that for so long. I do agree. I love, of course, prayer is a great way to start. And then to calm down is another place to start, to take a step back and look. And then to talk. And like Shelley said too, that the intention of somebody is very important. And I was just in another group talking about most people that whatever they do, there's a good intention behind it. It might not be your definition of good, but it's theirs, because they're doing it for some reason that they believe in. So, if you break it down, so again, we come back to the point of communication. So, if you have that time, of course, I think if I was in physical danger, I know I would probably not take a moment to defend myself physically, like Tina said. But it's never happened to me. So except for like saying, "What are you doing?" which I think is my initial response to physical danger. So that's my answer.
Yes. Would you like to say some more about what you do?
What, the magazine?
Oh, yeah, all those things. Yes.
Well, no, well, yeah. I mean, Epic, and I keep forgetting to put it back up once I take it down behind me. But it's an acronym: Empowering People, Inspiring Communities. So our three topics are spirituality, health, and sustainability. And I've had the pleasure of having two of you write articles for me, and I want the other three of you to write articles for me. So the covers are by local artists, and the content is as Connecticut as we can get it. And it's just how to find the people, places, and things that want to make people's lives and the planet a better place, a healthier place to be.
Awesome. Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right. So, when I decided I was going to ask this question, when I did, and it's my turn in the barrel. I want you to consider for a moment that I know, a famous general once said, no plan can ever withstand the first engagement, which basically says, just as in a chess game, the first move is the first move. So you can prepare yourself, but what are you preparing yourself to do? And in Ken's state, he's breathing. And I think Ken probably approaches every conversation with breathing so that he can be in a heightened awareness. And that's fundamental training. But, Mike Tyson said it a little differently. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the nose.
Yep.
And that said, there's no question as to whether you're in danger. And I'm going to say this, and then you can hold me to account when we start the next half hour. I'm going to say that the very first thing that you need to do is to decide that you're not in danger. Decide that you are enough. Decide that you have what it takes to transcend this moment, and decide that you will succeed. So with that said, we'll go around and we'll say sayonara for this half hour. Okay, Vanessa, would you like to sign off and say bye to the folks?
Yeah. Bye, folks. See you next episode.
Okay, Tina?
Yep. Bye, everybody. Next episode.
Mr. Ken?
See you on the other side.
Miss Shelley?
Hey, keep it real. See you next time.
Awesome. Miss Lisa?
Hey, what are you doing?
And why are you in my house? Yeah. I like that. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for another half hour of Lighting the Candle, A World That Works. We'll see you soon.
You've been listening to Lighting the Candle, A World That Works, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can hear us at exvadio.com/podcasts, Apple Podcasts app, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and wherever you find podcasts.